I have many choice words for those who abuse the already bloated welfare state, but this is not the time for that. This instance comes out of Israel, in which a terrorist for the Palestinian Authority is on welfare from the Israeli government. You heard that correctly. A terrorist is collecting money from the nation that he is trying to overthrow. Israel regularly gives benefits to those who commit acts of terror, which only serves to incentivize more terrorism, similar to incentivizing more welfare parasitism in the US. This is the same reason that if I were ever captured by a terrorist, that my family would never pay the ransom, as this just funds more terrorism. Meanwhile, Germany passed a non-binding resolution to cut off all funds to both the military and the political wing of Hezbollah. It further calls on the EU to do the same and declare them a terrorist organization. Why they were not on this list already, I cannot imagine. Speaking of Muslim terrorists, when you create a media network that is named after a Muslim terrorist network, you should really keep your head down and not say anything. This is not what Young Turks' founder thought when he decided to run for Congress. His run was cut short when it was revealed that he had made disparaging remarks towards women in the past. Nothing about his policies, just comments about women. For heaven's sakes, he named his network after Muslim terrorists. Is it any surprise he has a low view of women? I'm surprised that he has not called for the stoning of rape victims or throwing gays off of buildings. McConnell may simply call for a vote to acquit President Trump of the fraudulent charges held against him. This would require a simple majority rather than the supermajority that would be required to impeach the president. I am not going to bother you with all of the legal mumbo-jumbo, but the short and sweet is that this would already be thrown out of any honest court of law. The short version is that since the fabricated Steele dossier was a primary part of getting the original wiretap of Trump's campaign office, any data from that wiretap cannot be used. The legal term is fruit of the poisonous tree. According to Cornell University, a doctrine that extends the exclusionary rule to make evidence inadmissible in court if it was derived from evidence that was illegally obtained. As the metaphor suggests, if the evidential tree is tainted, so is its fruit. Therefore, since this was false data that was used to get the warrant, any data obtained from it is inadmissible and would be thrown out in an honest court of law. However, the Democrats do not care about legal tactics, since they have been trying to impeach President Trump since before he was even officially in office. Letitia James, Attorney General of New York, took time out of her busy schedule to sue ExxonMobil for misleading people about climate change. Of course, she started with the assumption that climate change was real, which is a dangerous assumption to make in itself. ExxonMobil won the case because she could not provide any evidence that ExxonMobil actually broke any law. Let this be a lesson to other attorneys that try to bring charges upon companies that do not actually commit a crime. On a side note, what do you want to bet that she drove her car to the courtroom? Just saying. If all goes according to plan, Britain will fulfill Brexit and will leave the EU effective January 31st of next year. This has been a long time coming, and Britain will no longer have to answer to a body in Brussels on how to order its own affairs. Boris Johnson has been working hard to get this done, and I am not even going to pretend to understand all of the ins and outs of this legal mumbo-jumbo. However, I have no doubt that other countries will soon follow Britain. I wonder how long it is going to be before the calm opposition start blaming a completely random country to have interfered in their election. This is also a warning to socialists here in America that people are waking up to their lies. Does it scare anyone else that Biden is the rational one here? The Ottawa Catholic School Board has decided that they would put explicit content in their library that 7th and 8th graders would be able to access. I am not going to even describe some of the things in the books, because if I do, my channel will be taken down. Instead, you can go here or follow the link in the description. In this new age, this is considered acceptable, since ABC does not report on a prolific pedophile, but celebrates a child drag queen. And Drag Queen Story Hour, many of which are revealed to be pedophiles themselves. This is child porn. Plain and simple. Leaked interviews from the Department of Defense last week have shown what those who oppose the myriad of wars in the Middle East have suspected. We have no idea what we are doing. We do not know who the bad guys are, or what victory would look like. The war began in 2001. This means that someone born when the war started is now old enough to enter. How many trillions of dollars have been spent, and how many lives lost, to a goal that we do not even have? The only reason that we as a nation remain at war is because the military-industrial complex is able to make a fortune on death. The Navy-Army football game is the only sporting event where everyone on the field is willing to lay their lives on the line for those in the stands. It is the only sporting event where none of the players will disrespect our country or the flag. Somehow, the cadets using the OK hand sign is racist. I do not know how it stands for white power, but it apparently does. It seems to me as if people are blowing a gesture out of proportion just to undermine this game and what it represents. There have been many mass shootings over the years, but there is one common thread amongst all of them that all of the gun grabbers ignore. The shootings are done by criminals. Criminals do not follow laws and will lie, cheat, or steal to get their hands on a weapon. Rashida Tlaib, a congresswoman from Michigan, decided that the shooter in New Jersey was a white person. Then, continuing on this faulty assumption, she decided that it was a sign of white supremacy. Once it was revealed that the shooter was black, she deleted the tweet in question, but as it has been said, the internet never forgets. The most racist people are the ones who spend all of their time looking for racism. Maybe I'm just blowing smoke. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that is just my opinion.